Wake Forest, the defending champion. We begin the men's race with 7 teams inside the top 30. Virginia at 4, Syracuse ranked 6th. The defending champion Demon Deacons 12th, and Notre Dame 16th. 8K course. Let's talk about why runners like to come to Louisville, Kentucky, and in particular Sawyer State Park.
Well, for one thing, it's a lot flatter than some of these other ACC courses we've been seeing, like Panorama Farms, Franklin Park, etc. This is a little downhill you have right here at the start, but there's plenty of room to run. They did get a lot of rain the last 2 days, so the course is soggy, and there's a few holes you can see right up there. Just as they're approaching, there's going to be some mud, but they're wearing spikes. They'll be okay. It's a nice neutral weather condition. You got 44 degrees, overcast. Couldn't really be better from a distance running standpoint if you're covering 8K, which this race is. Just under 5 miles. And you see Gary Martin in the glasses for Virginia up front with Rocky Hansen of Wake and his teammates. See a couple Pittsburgh guys up there early. Pittsburgh has had a surprising season for them. They're ranked 6th in the Mid-Atlantic region. They're led by sophomore Thomas McMahon and Luke Simpson, also a sophomore.
So much like what we saw with the women, when you look at this course layout, they will do a couple of loops with the first 4K, and then we saw the women go into the final 2K in new territory. The men will loop that second part of the race before heading into the straightaway and the finish. And Hansen and Martin right now 1-2.
Yes, as we expected. And I misread the Pittsburgh guys who have yellow and blue with Notre Dame. The Notre Dame women have been wearing green in the first race. Here the men are in their gold and blue. They're actually the traditional colors of Notre Dame. So Notre Dame there running 3-4-5 or 4-5-6 at least. And off to a great start for the Fighting Irish. They're coached by Chris Neal. He's in his 2nd year in South Bend. As you said, they're 16th in the nation, 4th in the Great Lakes. Ethan Coleman was 9th at Nuttycombe. So he's an outstanding runner up front for Notre Dame.
CJ Singleton, Isaiah Sturry, the senior from Ethiopia, Dalen Ackley. Some of the other runners that Notre Dame will be counting on, and the Fighting Irish feel they have enough to win an ACC title today.
And we're coming up on the 1K mark, and we can identify some of those top runners as they cross.
Brian Bell in Syracuse ranked 11th, and this is a program that has finished 1st or 2nd at the meet in 10 of the 12 seasons they've been in the ACC.
Yes. Dylan Throop is the leader for Notre Dame. Rocky Hansen 2nd, Coleman 3rd. George Cootie of Virginia Tech. He's going to be a factor as an individual, although Virginia Tech probably a little short in terms of really contending for the team title. They're ranked 27th in the nation, along with Stanford. Gary Martin now running 5th. JoJo Jordan of Wake 6 and 7. So Wake at 2, 6 and 7 early on. Wake out to a great start. They're currently in 2nd. Notre Dame is leading with Wake 2nd, Virginia Tech 3rd, Syracuse 4th, Virginia 5th. But a lot can change in the next 7K.
Notre Dame with 37 through the opening K. Wake Forest, as Norm describes, sitting 2nd. Dylan Throop, a transfer that Notre Dame brought in this offseason, his first ACC cross-country championship appearance as they brought him in from Penn, the graduate student out of Edinburgh, starting to slide back a little as Wake's Hansen has moved to the forefront of the pack. Still a crowded field, a lot of parity on the men's side as they work their way, usher and maneuver their way around a gentle bend and curve. Big crowds have gathered on this Friday morning wearing all the different school colors. 18 schools represented.
And that rather cloudy sky has turned sunny. Hansen leading, Martin running 2nd, Cootie of Virginia Tech right in there as well. You can see the difference between the daylight and the shade. course has had about 20 hours now to dry out, rain stopping mid-morning yesterday. That's a beautiful scene, isn't it?
It really is, with the fall foliage in the backdrop, and just no championship season is here. Rocky Hansen, your early leader, the junior who grew up in Hendersonville, North Carolina, Christ School, and he chose Wake Forest over a lot of heavy hitters, and this is an athlete that started to get more and more interest later on in his high school years. His senior year, a blood test revealed that he had an iron deficiency, so he started taking supplements, and then his career really took off. He went on to win 4 North Carolina state titles. He shattered several records along the way, and a story I'll always remember, head coach John Hayes had to contain his excitement because he was on a plane taxi cab when Rocky Hansen confirmed that he was going to be a Demon Deacon, and Coach Hayes knew he had somebody pretty special.
That he did, and that he is. Gary Martin now taking the lead. Also moving up for Virginia Tech is Nicholas Kipkachir. He was 3rd at Panorama Farms behind Hansen, and right ahead of Nathan Mountain of Virginia. So Kipkachir is definitely an individual contender for Virginia Tech. As you see the main pack, and that's really where the race is decided by the 5th, 6th, and 7th men of teams. Hansen and Martin, as expected. And then Cody and Kipkachir of Virginia Tech. And there's Coach Hunter, John Hunter of Wake Forest. Little less hair than he had when he was at Texas back in the day. He coached Leo Manzano at Texas a long time ago, who was a world-class runner for the Longhorns and the United States of America.
As you look at Gary Martin, the defending champion from Virginia, Rocky Hansen, the ACC Performer of the Week earlier this year, and those two did not meet during the regular season, so we were all anxious to see Hansen and Martin shoulder to shoulder, go toe-to-toe in the prestigious stage of an ACC championship spotlight.
Yeah, this should be kind of similar to the indoor meet last year, where we saw a showdown between Parker Wolf and Gary Martin. We were hoping they could meet in the mile, and they ended up meeting in the last mile of the 5,000 indoors. And Martin came up a little bit short that time, but boy, Gary had such a good year last year on the track, and of course winning last year in cross country.
Let's talk about the job Vin Lananna has really put together at Virginia. Charlottesville, and really no surprise, his 7th year, the longtime Stanford and Oregon coach who won a combined 11 NCAA team championships, 5-time NCAA cross country coach of the year. He has built a lineup that will contend for a title.
I think they're going to win because of their experience. And now you can see Gary Martin and 2 other Virginia guys in the top 10 now. And that's how we expect it to come about. What he's done is he hasn't built it through the transfer portal. The only exception to that being Brett Gardner, who came over from NC State. And I think Brett Gardner was kind of fleeing a sinking ship at the Wolfpack, unfortunately, because they're not doing so well right now. Here's the splits at 3K. Hansen in front, Martin in 2nd, Cody in 3rd, and then Kip Rudo of Louisville. Louisville's got a trio of Kenyans that are extremely good. Kip Rudo is among them. They also have Kerwa, who was an outstanding steeplechaser last year, running the 2nd fastest steeplechase of all time, only behind Henry Rono. He had a really rough meet at Nuttycombe 2 weeks ago, though, so we're not really sure what is up with him. And there's Hansen trying to break away from Hansen early. He's clear from Martin early. Hansen clearly making a little bit of a move. And there's the team scores. Notre Dame still out in front. Virginia is 2nd, but they've closed the gap. Wake Forest running 3rd, as we expected. Syracuse 4th. So very much like we thought coming in. The correct top 4. I just got Virginia over Notre Dame when it's all said and done.
Louisville into the top 6 as well for the first time. And you mentioned the freshman Kip Rudo. He is the youngest of the 3 Kenyans that they have competing today. The 2024 Kenyan U20 championships, coming off an 11th place finish last year in the 3,000 meters.
But getting back to the Virginia story, I mean, he's done it by getting these guys to stick around. He's done it the old school way. He's an old school coach, right? Nathan Mountain, Gary Martin, Justin Walker, Will Anthony, they've been with each other the whole time. And so has Wes Porter, who first broke 4 minutes in the mile as a freshman under Vin Lananna. Vin Lananna, no doubt about it, one of the great coaches in NCAA distance lore. Look at those beautiful colors in the trees. Here in Louisville on a 44-degree day.
Virginia last year placed 4th at the ACC championships. They have won 4 team titles, but it has been a while. Lananna has them believing here in 2025. You have to go all the way back to 08. Last time it was the Cavaliers hoisting the hardware.
Yeah, back in 08, it was a completely different conference. It's about half the size.
Certainly so.
So 18 schools. You know, if you're winning one every 18 years, you're doing good. It's just super tough. But they are ready. They are ready for that. Rocky Hansen, though, really looks like he wants to break Martin early. He knows Martin has better leg speed. Not that Hansen is slow, but you know Martin has run 144 in the 800 meters. Hansen has not done that. So he wants to get away from them. And now the Louisville runner is asserting himself, Kip Rudo, into 3rd. So we've got quite a bit of separation, a lot more separation than we had in the women's race, although Hartman was way out front for a while. But there's 1, 2, 3 clear of a lot of people. And there's that next pack. And you see a lot of orange of Virginia in there.
And it is important to note the next pack is where Wake Forest won the team title last year. So we'll try to keep you abreast of those runners in that second wave. Rocky Hansen at the 4K marker, 11:17.7. Martin a couple of seconds behind him. And then the freshman from Louisville with Kip Rudo, who's running in only his 4th collegiate race of his young career.
Yeah, Kip Rudo's got good track experience, and he's good. He could easily finish where he is right now, which is in 3rd. So it was a 2-second margin for Hansen at 4K, which is the halfway point. Here's the 4K split team scores. Virginia now in the lead as we saw that second pack. All of a sudden, Virginia's closing in. Virginia leading, Syracuse 2nd, Wake 3rd, Notre Dame 4th. That's exactly the order I had picked coming in, but we still got half the race to go. Hansen, though, looking good. Really good arm action. Very determined look. He's hugging the line to run the minimal distance. You see that white line? He needs to stay just outside of that. And he is putting more distance on Gary Martin. Trying to open it up here between 4K and 6K. So he doesn't have to worry about Martin's killer kick. Again, Martin has run 350 split in the DMR indoors on the 1600 leg. He's run 352-ish in the mile indoors, and even faster outdoors in the 1500. He has dangerous closing speed, but right now Hansen looking to put this away.
Increasing the lead is the junior Rocky Hansen for Wake Forest. You mentioned the team aspect of it for Virginia. Gary Martin sitting 2nd, but let's look at that next wave of runners right now as they cross over that halfway point. Brett Gardner, the transfer from NC State, he is sitting pretty solid at 13th. You have Justin Wachtel, the graduate student. Right now, the Forsyth, Georgia native, he is in at 12th. And then you have Nathan Mountain, Will Daly. They have 5 runners inside the top 20 crossing over the halfway point of this race.
Syracuse has moved up significantly. Obviously, you saw it in the team score, but Lawler's in 11th. Walsdorf is in 14th, and Asaf Hari is in 15th. And then they have Benny Anderson in 20th, Neal in 21st, and Gableman in 22nd. So they have 6th in the top 22. So the Orangemen still have a shot at winning this thing, especially if they close well. And like we said, in the past, they haven't necessarily done that. Today, it looks like that's exactly what they're doing.
They brought in Walsdorf from Kansas via the transfer portal. They have the talented Lawler as the team leader, along with Asaf Harari, the senior, coming off a really good regular season. So the team race is going to be tight. Right now, the individual race clearly belonging to Wake Forest, and Rocky Hansen, a championship stride Look at the distance that he has opened up against last year's champ and Gary Martin.
So here's where the race between Virginia and Syracuse is going to be. Wachtel, Gardner, Mountain, and Daly are all sandwiched in between their guys. Here's 5K split results. Hansen now increasing his lead to 10 full seconds. And then Kipruto 8 seconds back of Martin. So you've got, between Hansen and fourth place, you've got nearly 30 seconds, 28 seconds between Hansen and fourth place. And then you got a whole bunch of guys right at 14:36. Less than 3K remaining here in Louisville as Hansen continues to pull away. But the race, the team race, is between Syracuse in 11th through 22nd. That's all Virginia and Syracuse. So that's where it's going to be decided. Third, fourth, and fifth men.
Razor thin margin of error as we hit the final 3K of the men's championship. Rocky Hansen, your individual leader, and look at this. 3 points separating Virginia and Syracuse. Wake Forest sitting a distant third.
It's not that it's just 3 points. It's that they're all racing each other. It's amazing. All those guys are right together. And don't think that, oh, orange, it's Virginia. No, it's also Syracuse. They're both wearing orange. So it's going to be hard. What we're going to need our wonderful directors to do is keep the shot on the finish line after we get our first couple guys across so we can see the third, fourth, and fifth men finish for Virginia and Syracuse.
So, Norm, as we continue to watch Rocky Hansen, your thoughts as he has really pulled away from the field. How has he been able to get this done right now? Still a lot of race to go, but a commanding lead as you see the distant champion from a year ago, Gary Martin, who's known for his closing ability, really sitting back.
Yeah, I think Gary's going to be satisfied with a solid second. I could be wrong. We're not quite at 6.3K split. But he's very clear of Kipruto, too. And he does have 2 more big races. He's got regionals and nationals that he wants to think about. So, in other words, the amount of energy expenditure he'd have to go after Hansen may not be worth the gamble. So, you know, that would be a signal coming from Atlanta. Oh, so Virginia's got the blue tops, and Syracuse has the orange. So that'll help.
And it was that pack of runners that you just saw in that last look that is going to determine our ACC team champion. This is going to be wild as we hit the home stretch.
Yes, it will. Waiting for that 6.3K split to come up, which is our last split point of the race.
Rocky Hansen, running in his first race of the year at the Panorama Farms event, had a record-breaking performance. It was a new course record, 22:44.4. You take a look at the all-time marks for this particular course in Louisville, the Tom Sawyer State Park, 22:58.5, the time to beat. We saw a course record get shattered earlier from Napoleon on the women's side for NC State. Does Hansen have enough in the tank to break the mark this morning?
I think he's looked a little labored the last 500 meters or so, so I'm going to say no. I mean, the NCAA meet is where those times occurred when they were here. And here's Hansen at 17:47. So he now has a 15 seconds lead over Martin. With only 1.7K to go, I think he's got it. And again, I think Martin may be getting the signal from Vinlanana, hey, you're good, close, save it for the last 2 races of the season. So this does add up when you're running an 8K, a 10K, and then 7 days later another 10K. It's or 8 days later. It's pretty brutal. So Hansen might want to go for this, but I would think he should just cruise in from here.
JoJo Jordan, Hansen's teammate, has moved into the top 5 for the first time. The sophomore who pulled his red shirt late last year to compete in the ACCs, and he delivered. Coach gave him the decision, do you want to pull it and compete or save it? He said, I want to compete. And Jordan has been a steady contributor the past couple of years. Syracuse, the narrowest of leads. Virginia second. Wake Forest third behind the running of Hansen and Jordan right now.
Yeah, their third and fourth men for Wake is Hunter Jones and Charlie Sprott in 28th and 29th. And unfortunately, their fifth is back in 34th, so I don't think Wake can do it. I think they'll finish third and be happy with that. I know I talked to Coach Hunter going in, and he thought that was a realistic place for them. Of course, he also believed big time in Rocky Hansen, and we can see why. This is now the back stretch, and then they'll start, you see, to make this corner, and then he's going to go down the straightaway where you see the cart and you see Hansen on the right-hand side of your screen. They'll make one more left turn, and then they'll go down through this wooded area towards the finish. So we're getting close to a half mile to go. So he's probably going to break 23 minutes. I just don't think he can get the course record. And you got to understand, in NCAA, you've got so many guys pressuring you all the way. And he doesn't have anybody pressuring him. Beautiful day at the Tom Sawyer course. And Rocky Hansen taking advantage. Here's a little bit of a downhill he has here. And there's Martin. Again, he was like 15 seconds back at 6.3K. And he is not going after him. He's going to take his second and hope that Virginia can win the team title behind him.
Rocky Hansen continuing to lead for Wake Forest. Gary Martin second. Into the trees they go. And then the race for the team championship. Kip Rudo still holding third for Louisville. The freshman has been solid from the start. But keep in mind, Syracuse with their veteran Sam Lawler in at the number 6 spot. Then they have Walsdorf and Harari running shoulder to shoulder at 8 and 9. Virginia right behind them.
Syracuse 56, Virginia 62 at the last checkpoint. So Syracuse has taken the lead and might win the team title over Virginia. There we go. There's again, orange over blue is Syracuse, and blue over orange is Virginia. We got Stanford and Notre Dame in there, but lots of Virginia guys. Here's some more Virginia. Here's a Syracuse and another Syracuse, but I think you're already past their top 7. So it's going to come down to the last kilometer, and here comes our big guy, Rocky Hansen. They're saying he's getting the course record by a lot. I'm so impressed.
Plenty of kick for Hansen, and he will break the course mark. Rocky Hansen.
And again, a course mark that was set at the NCAA championships. That stamps him as a legitimate contender for an NCAA title individually.
Here comes
the upward trajectory continues for Hansen. He has an ACC title. Last year's champion from Virginia, Gary Martin, across the line, the runner-up.
I think Gary was just under the record as well. It was 22:40 he ran, so I think he just got under it. So 2 guys faster than the NCAA meet held here a number of years ago. And
here is where the team race will be settled. Louisville third with their freshman. Virginia Tech goes 4-5.
We had a Syracuse guy dive in.
Yeah.
And if we could get back to the finish line, that would be very helpful. There we go. Another Syracuse here.
I'm coming off.
Good.
So Lawler for Syracuse across in the 8th spot. Wachtel of Virginia 10th. Harari Syracuse 11th. Mountain Virginia and Gardner Virginia go 12 and 13. Walsdorf 14th for the Orange. My goodness. Back and forth for the team title. Top 5 runners are scored.
Anderson was their 4th man at 15th place. I think that's going to be enough. We need a few more results to come in.
Nobody has been more consistent on the men's side over the past decade than Syracuse. The Orange have finished 1st or 2nd at this meet in 10 of the last 12 years.
And Syracuse, that's what's posted. I see Syracuse's 5th in before Virginia's. So the early score indicates Virginia may have won, but I'm not sure, because what I see is Syracuse in 8th, 11th, 14th, 15th, and 17th. That's 5 men in. Virginia only has 3 in. Their 4th came right after Syracuse's 5th. And okay, well, they had Virginia's 5th was in front of Syracuse's 6th, so that might have been enough to do it.
So Virginia with 61 points. You have Gary Martin second for the Cavaliers, Wachtel 10th. Mountain and Gardner go 12 and 13, and then the fifth runner for UVA, Nicholas Benston, 24th, a time of 23:25.3.
How'd it go, man? It was alright. Your boys roll my ass. Is there water anywhere? How'd you do? Good stuff, man. That was my best race so far. Yeah, I'm moving up. Huge career ahead, so. It's been awesome to see you come back this year. Yeah. And do well. You know, I'm like a massive fan, so.
I caught Will Daly at the
It's always so fun to listen into the interaction among these athletes and the respect that they have. They battle each and every time they step on the course, but afterward, the respect, oftentimes friendship that gets built, and the bonds that are tied together. Lot to sort out. Virginia right now on paper appears to be back on top of the ACC. Rocky Hansen is the individual champion for Wake Forest. A new course record, 22:18.6.